For decades, textbooks were seen as the foundation for instruction in Kenyan schools. They were a fundamental part of the educational infrastructure. They were assigned to students for each subject and carried in heavy backpacks every day from home to school and back. This is gradually changing with the integration of digital learning in schools across the country. Under the Digital Learning Program, the government in July distributed over 1 million tablets in public primary schools spread across the country. Other players are providing software to be used with the tablets. One of these is Avallain Kenya, which designs and makes digital content for schools. The firm's flagship project, A Academy, develops educational content aimed at supplementing the government's efforts to promote digital content at the primary school level.
My name is Martina Amoth. I am the Education Director at Avallain Foundation Limited. Avallain Foundation is an ICT company, but our main focus in education. We produce interactive digital education content. At the moment, our flagship product is dubbed A Academy. A Academy is a smart learning platform, and it features high quality and very interactive education content. The A Academy content features the 844 curriculum aligned content. It is highly interactive. It has been vetted and approved by the Kenya Curriculum Authority, that is KICD, for use in primary schools. At the moment, A Academy is being used in around 50 schools, and so far around 45,000 children are able to access and use it.
A Academy is a smart learning platform that features high quality and interactive educational content. It can be used by teachers as a teaching tool or by pupils as an engaging self-study tool at home. Its digital curriculum features tens of exciting and highly interactive learning activities structured into subjects, standards, and units. It is vetted for use in primary schools in Kenya. The platform, aligned to the Kenyan educational curriculum, has become a hit in Kenyan schools. Since the pilot program, A Academy has been installed in over 45 schools. Dr. Amoth estimates that a total of 45,000 children are using the platform. Does the technology spell the end of traditional textbooks? To many people, digital learning means the use of digitized learning materials in form of PDF documents. According to Dr. Amoth, this is not the case.
Like I said before, it's a unique learning tool. When you talk about digital content in Kenya, people usually tend to conflate digital content with just having, for instance, books in PDF format that you leaf through by clicking on arrows as you move to the next page. But that is not really interactive content. It's not high quality digital content. High quality digital content means the content should be interactive, it should be of good quality, and at the end of the day, we are producing this content for learning, and it should therefore lead to positive learning outcomes for children.
What makes A Academy popular in schools at a time when many other firms offer digital learning solutions?
So some of the features of our content is that, number one, like I said, it is very interactive. The A Academy content has around 30 different interactive activities, which means the child can go and click on something, they can be able to watch a video. Next time they are clicking, they are flipping, they're using, for instance, crossword puzzles. These are things that they do themselves. They're able to go and do themselves, just like they would have, just like they would write on their exercise books. But now they're doing a lot more activities. At the end of the day, they will learn more. So Yes, number one, the content is highly interactive. Number two, it has a lot of multimedia elements. We have videos, we have audios, and we have animations. And these videos, audios, and animations are all aligned to the content itself, also aligned to the syllabus. We follow the syllabus one by one. We work from the specific objectives in the syllabus. So other than having the multimedia elements, which help children to learn more, because we have different learners in any classroom situation or environment, you will have learners who are more visually stimulated, and so you will find themselves gravitating towards the content that has a lot more video and visual things like pictures. We have a lot of images. We have children who are more the audio, they gravitate more towards the audio, so we have a lot of audios in the content.
The platform boasts of over 30 different interactive activities. These include videos, puzzles, among other multimedia elements.
We also have a lot of animation. So these liven the content, they make it very nice, and children want to do it, because our purpose also is not just to present content to the children in a boring way, but also to make them have some fun while they are learning. So having different channels through which the child can access the content, the visual, the audio, the movement that they can see, things that they can do for themselves, help them to learn better and even learn more efficiently. The other feature, as I had said, is the alignment to the syllabus. People talk about having digital content, and in most cases you find that we have a lot of content which are open source. Some of it is very good, but some of it is not aligned to the syllabus. You'll find a lot of content in maths, things that are not directly related to what the children are learning. So yes, the children will have content even if it is interactive, but to the extent that they are spending less and less time learning relevant things, because the issue of relevance is very important. There is not a lot of time that children have as they go through their schooling system. We know also that at the end of the day, the children in this country have to take an exam, and the exams is derived from the curriculum. So if somebody is going to get content out there, however good it is, to the extent that this content is not mapped onto, because you need to do a curriculum mapping and know these are the elements that are particularly useful for our system, and also particularly useful not just for the system, but also for the system at what levels, because there is class 6, if you're talking about, let's say, class 6 science, there are certain concepts that children are supposed to learn at that level. So we address the issue of aligning the content to the syllabus, but we also address the issue of making sure that those the content presented is relevant for a particular level. So the issue of the relevance and the issue of the alignment to the curriculum. There are many other things. There are many other salient features of the curriculum, of the A Academy. I'll repeat that. There are other useful features of A Academy. The other thing we have is that, like I said, we have different interactive activities, around 30 of them. Now, these activities, as the students undertake them, they are able to just do exercises. Like they do when they write in their exercise books. But when they do, they are able to check the answers and see if what they have done is right or wrong. And that makes a big difference, because under normal circumstances, when a teacher is teaching, the children will write their answers, the teachers will collect the books. It will probably take 2 or 3 days before they receive the feedback. But here the children have the advantage of getting instant feedback, which is a very key motivation for learning in children. And that is probably one of the reasons why you find children liking video games, because if they do something, the feedback is there, it is instant. So it saves the time that the child would have to wait for feedback, and maybe by that time the interest will be lost. So they get the instant feedback. The system also shows them the correct answers. They attempt so many times, and then later on they are able to get the correct answers.
The content was developed in close collaboration between African educators, international curriculum editors, and instructional designers. Since its introduction in 2014, A Academy has been well received in the market.
What we do so far is to install the content in the computers. It is also, you can also install it in the in tablets. And however, it depends on the size of the tablet. If it is too small, given that we have videos, we have so many activities, there is the bulk of information is such that the tablet needs to be to have particular specifications in order to optimize the use of the platform. But we would go to school and then install install the content on the computers or laptops or other devices that the schools may have. The content in schools was way back in 2014. At that time, we did a pilot. We worked with a few schools, around 13 schools. The reception was very good. We wanted to do a proof of concept to find out if it really worked, because for us, we are not driven by making profits. Even at that time, we have so far changed, and right now we are a foundation. But even when we operated as a social enterprise, profit is not what was driving us. We wanted to make sure that whatever digital content we create is serving the purpose for which it was intended, and it's leading to some learning outcomes. But when we did the pilot, we assumed that the schools would use the content at least once a week. The 13 schools in which the content was piloted. When we went back to check on them after about a year in 2015, we found out that the schools were using the content on an average of 3 times a week. So that for us was it was a very strong proof that the children and the students and the teachers found the content useful and wanted to use it more and more and more. And in fact, when we asked them, what can we do to improve the content? And one of the questions that came from them was that they wanted us to produce more content, because we did the pilot with only one subject, but they wanted content in other subjects. So that shows that they wanted to use more of it. So the reception in the schools has been very, very good. We have not just been able to reach out to more schools due to scarcity of resources, because digital content, especially with the level of quality we are talking about, is very expensive to produce. But we try to produce what we can with the resources that we have, but still making sure that what we give out there is very good, and it leads children to learn more and achieve more.
The system uses open source content, which is not for sale. This means that schools and pupils can access cutting-edge content for free. Pupils in schools in Kenyan slums usually find it hard to compete with their counterparts in well-endowed public and private schools. They not only face a number of challenges like poor sanitation, but also lack the relevant books to help them study well. With A Academy, such pupils can benefit from various activities provided by the platform, including learning materials, glossaries, and tests that have separate answers. The firm installs the A Academy software in the computers and tablets to be used by pupils. With both online and offline content, A Academy easily helps bridge the education gap in slums where electricity and internet are a major setback.
Actually, one of the key important components of the A Academy Smart Learning platform is that the content is available offline. So it's not just an online tool, it is also available offline. We actually present it as an offline tool. We know what challenges schools have, especially those ones in the rural areas where there is no electricity. And if there is electricity, sometimes there is not enough money to pay for internet. So they don't need to be able to connect to the internet. So it's available as an offline platform. And still, with all those unique features, children are able to access that quality content without necessarily having to be online.
To make a difference in such areas, Avallain sometimes donates computers to schools in slum areas. This is why the firm primarily targets public schools and non-formal schools in urban and slum-based areas.
Our mission is to get education to those who need it most. Therefore, we are talking about the children in communities and schools which are at the bottom of the pyramid. We work a lot with the slum-based schools in Nairobi. We have installed content in almost every single school in Mathare that has a laptop or a desktop or some kind of tablet. We have donated content there for free. Some schools that did not have hardware, we were able to donate some computers. We've been able to donate some laptops, even projector, so that they can be able to access this content. So our priority is the schools which are struggling. In any school that serves children who needs education most, that is our first priority. We also work with public schools. We donate our content to public schools. Right now, our content is being used in a school in Siaya. We are in Homa Bay County. We are in Machakos. We are in Kiambu. We are also in Nairobi, but we hope to reach out to more people. So the needier the situation, that is what determines how we prioritize the schools that get our content.
Since the rollout, its impact has been significant, clearly demonstrating the unmet need of digital literacy in schools. An impact study carried out by Avallain has proved that there has been a transformation in learning outcomes. In Mathare slums, for instance, teachers using the platform said their pupils registered academic progress within a few months of using it.
Apart from the pilot that we did in order to have proof of concept, to find out how the teachers received the content, and to find out if they liked it, if the children liked it and wanted to use it, we wanted to know, yes, because sometimes when something is new, people get excited about it. But there is what is sustained beyond the excitement phase. So we wanted to know if this is really helping children to learn, because sometimes you can have a tool in the schools. It is children naturally like to use things that they can manipulate. We wanted to understand if it was helping them to learn. So we did, in 2015, we did an impact study. And in this impact study, we had schools that received the content, which we call as treatment, and then we had control schools with similar characteristics that did not receive the content. And we observed these schools over time, and we found out that the children when children learned using our content, they learned 23% more. So yes, there is great impact depending on how the frequency of use. But one of the things we learned when we did the impact study is that the children in non-formal schools, especially the ones in Mathare, we worked with non-formal schools in Mathare, even though right now we are in Kibera and other slums. For the impact, we worked with the schools in Mathare. Those children learned more. And why? I think the reason being that in these schools, the teachers are not supported by the government, so they are more or less community schools, and there are not enough teachers to begin with, and the rate of teacher turnover is very high. They are resource constrained, so there's not a lot. So this, it therefore means that the content we gave them is taking the place of the teacher, and because it is also aligned one-on-one to the syllabus, it helped them to learn more than the children who are probably in schools that already have the advantage of teachers and resources.
The project is financed by Avallain. However, the development of additional subjects is financed through donations collected through the campaign dubbed Unlock Education for Africa.
We are not very comfortable where we are. So far we have content in English for English classes 3 to 8, and then we have class 6 science. As you can see, that is not enough. We would like to cover as many subjects as possible, if not all subjects in primary school. As we go to schools, one of the feedback this is constant throughout all the schools that we go to. They are constantly asking for other content in other subjects. So that's a big goal for us. It's something that we have wanted to do. What keeps us from doing it is at the moment we don't have the resources to be able to create all the content in all the subject areas. And to be able to do that, honestly, we need to have a partner with the financial muscle to help us to move there, because the whole business of producing digital content is a very expensive exercise. So far, that has been funded internally by our mother company based in Switzerland. And to be able to move and reach out to more children, to more schools, with more content and high quality content, we need a partner to help us, hold hands with us, and help us achieve that goal.
Ahmad says that although funds are a challenge, the program is already being used in several schools in Nairobi, Kiambu, Machakos, and Homa Bay counties. The project comes at a time when the government is rolling out an ambitious 17 billion shillings laptop project. Such projects demonstrate that the country is ready to embrace and invest in digital learning.
In the existing computers that the government has already dispatched to schools. So we have installed in some schools here in Nairobi, but also and also a school in Siaya. And we hope that the next lot of devices that will be deployed in the schools will come already pre-installed with our Air Academy content, because we already donated it to KICD and it was already imaged and taken to China for pre-installation in the devices prior to the deployment.
Barely 3 years since inception, A Academy has recorded major milestones. From the current 2 subjects on offer, the firm plans to develop more content for all pupils in primary school.
We have achieved quite a lot in the past few years. Last year, the government reached out to us, KICD that is, and asked us to donate some of our content. We donated the content to KICD. It was imaged and taken to China so that it can be pre-installed in the government laptops that are coming to schools. That for us was a huge achievement, because it means more children will be able to access the content. And again, it lies within our mission of reaching out to people who need education most. Additionally, as we speak, we are now in about 50 schools with around 45,000 children accessing and using our content. And we have 45,000 users, children using our content in different schools and in different counties in this country. But our users are not just in Kenya. We have an online platform which is being accessed by children all over East Africa. We have some children in Tanzania, we have some users in Uganda as well. As a matter of fact, I think it was in last year or late 2015, we got a very moving testimonial from a child who was using our content from Uganda, and he wrote to us and informed us. He was just so happy how our content had helped him to improve his scores in English. So we have achieved quite a lot. We have reached quite a big number. We are still hoping to reach out to more. And we have also grown in other areas. We have created digital content for literacy, which is being used by adults in Kakuma refugee camp. It's not just adults, but also young youths who are there, who need the education really so much to be able to integrate with other people in the community, but also to be able to access some skills